I mean, it's a little more scary when you have Reggie jumping on you, but
yeah,
still, we'll have to see if he's gotten past his first day summer split jitters.
I mean, ManCloud is also that's just an intimidating name to fight against.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the jitters remain for these guys. Of course, as Champ Select has begun, Kennen and Lee Sin are being dropped out. Seems some lessons have been learned by the Coast lineup.
Yeah, the Jace there, finally getting a man for himself. So many people jumping on that bandwagon. I mean, he's got so many abilities.
Yeah. So, okay, let's see this, right? We got 5 bans coming on through. The Rise dropped out as well. I mean, we've seen those guys picked up so regularly by these teams. The Kazakhs banned out as well. That seems to be the perennial, like, 6th ban right now in LCS.
It's interesting, you know, Jace is also a really strong part of poke comps, too. So, a little hit to the poke comps if that was what we were going to see from Team Coast. But it leaves open that global here. First Karthus we're going to see today. All
right, so Karthus and Caitlyn picked up here for the Vulcan squad. Now, Zuna ran Kate last time, and I was trying to think about why they would run Kate, because normally he plays like these hyper carries, and you had said backstage, it's like, well, yeah, because they were trying to shut down on St. Vicious. They're trying to get some early game pressure to kind of put the hurt onto Curse early on and put him 2v1 in that mid. I'm curious to see what the Kate pick is for this time around.
Yeah, so usually she can, you know, put a lot of pressure on the turrets, and it's very interesting in this one too. We've got a second game where they're just giving Bloodwater Sona, which has been one of his, you know, that's like his go-to support. He loves being on Sona and hitting those game-changing crescendos, but more focus here for the opponents have been going time and time again to the Thresh.
Wow, so the Thresh grabbed up, which means Fiddlesticks is going to be jungle or mid. That's going to be fun no matter where he goes. And of course, Ezreal grabbed as well from the Coast lineup. Ooh.
So if you are going to run jungle Fiddlesticks, then I would definitely expect Vulcan to hit a 2v1 mid lane or a 2v2 mid lane, because Fiddlesticks early is pretty easy to abuse. He's not a very intimidating early game jungler here. So if you're able to terrifying freak, you're terrifying. If you're able to get an extra man in there or extra woman with Sona to get over there and harass, then it can really set him behind. So very interesting to see where that Fiddlesticks is actually going to go, because mid Fiddlesticks, like you said,
yeah,
very popular in solo queue right now, even among the challenger tier.
That's going to be a fun one to look out for. And now, well, oh man, it's just going to be good. I also like they have matching summoner spells right now. It's just so cute.
I was going to say, it's a nice little green theme that we're having here.
Yeah.
Ezreal's
ruining it.
Yeah. I think they might hold on to those.
Unless he runs limited edition skin, then at least he can match once again. But Vulcan looking up for their new champion picks here. They've added some more females to the roster. They've grabbed Elise and Sona in there. So yeah, you said the Vulcan Sona, or sorry, the Bloodwater Sona just still in there, and Elise can run on any of these open lanes still.
Yeah, Elise could be that jungle that, you know, Odd1's a real big fan of, or it could go into a solo lane quite easily. We've seen so many Karthus do the 2v1 and, you know, take that on their shoulders, try and CS from afar with the lay waste, that we might have, you know, Karthus bottom or something if they do want to get, for the second time in a row, that pressure middle with the Caitlyn Sona.
Okay, let's see what happens here. The pressure going to be pretty big, as you said. Getting rid of that Fiddlesticks is going to be important, and Coast have to make some choices. Looks like these are two laners right here, so if these are the lock-ins between Zed and Riven, we're going to see jungle Fiddlesticks. Zed is in. Riven's in. We got to line up for Coast.
A lot more AD coming in here for Team Coast, and that's really nice, because if you do go with a AP jungler, then you have to be very careful about your solo lanes, because if you're too AP heavy, it's very easy for the opponents to rush those bulwarks and just nullify a lot of your damage.
Okay, so the Coast lineup grouped in here. Good mix of damage types, as you mentioned, and now it's Vulcan's turn to grab a top laner or a jungler. Right, now looking at Shogath, which actually could still be either one, so I don't even know what they're going to go for here.
Yeah, that would add a lot of meat to the Vulcan lineup here, which is something that Coast really don't have. They would be relying more on CC and burst damage. Like Fiddlesticks, the Fear, the Terrify is just one of the most annoying CCs in the game, because it lasts so long. Basically takes you, out of the team fight. And they'll have definitely the damage to back it up here. So it's going to be very touch and go for Coast here. If they're able to pull it off well and coordinate it with their CC, then that's a very devastating team comp. But if they get caught in some AoE like Ruptures or Feral Screams, then it's going to be rough.
Okay, so the lineups are there on your screen, and I think I'm just going to talk about Fiddlesticks the entire time in this game. We'll just follow him around. I'll zoom in all the way. It'll be wonderful and it'll be great. But the lineups are here, and the grudge match is about to begin. Second and third place last season. These teams have so far repeated the history of their playoff matches. Bloodwater, they said, Coast is overrated. We can take him down and take that title away. I want to see if they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, we did have Double Lift with some trash talk beforehand and having to pay for that one. So we'll have to see if Bloodwater also going to eat his words.
Well, certainly, I mean, if anyone's going to eat anything, it would probably be Smithy on Shogat, just because guy's a ravenous appetite. As we tick down on a champion select, man, I mean, it's fun to see so many different setups here. Right? The jungle Fiddle just,
Yeah, whenever you go up against the Fiddle team, immediately what I'm looking for in the other team is who's going to be stopping the Fiddle and finding him when he's charging up his ultimate, because you don't want that Fiddle to come at you from Fog of War. We talked about Zach with the initiates from Fog of War are amazing. The Fiddle initiates from Fog of War are devastating. So something like Nocturne is always really nice to have against him, because not only can you jump right over to Fiddlesticks, but you can deny vision, something to jump back to him, because he is very squishy if you can get over there and burst him down. For Vulcan, it's not really going to be, diving on him unless it is Elise or Cho'Gath just trying to stop him with that long-range rupture. It's going to be them trying to disengage. What the other option for a Fiddlesticks is to bait him into the ultimate and not let him know that you have vision of him, and then back out, so that you can wait the duration.
Yeah, it's really interesting to look at, because, after they saw Fiddlesticks, Bloodwater still went for Sona instead of someone like Janna or someone like Lulu or anyone with a knockback in general, or like a Gragas, which we've seen from top laners like Voyboy. But yeah, they've got a 3-second or 2.5-second silence. They've got the crescendo. Like, maybe they just try to burst out Fiddlesticks when the game starts.
Yeah.
We'll see how these guys end up playing it out as the game has begun. Vulcan in the red trunks, Coast in blue, and here we go.
So picking that Sona instead of a Janna really shows you the mentality of Vulcan. They're thinking so much more offensively than defensively.
He landed a lot of damage. The Dark Wind coming across as well. Vulcan moving forward very, very hard. Early vision ward goes down, and it doesn't actually spot the tree, blocks the vision line. Unless they just couldn't attack it. Hold on, I'm going to check real quick. They can't see the ward.
No, that's a very, very unfortunate event here for Vulcan. They weren't able to get that ward, even though they burned a pink. And it looks like they get chased out of the jungle as well, so nothing gained here for that early invade.
Except some damage on their health bars, so they will regenerate on back up. Karthus, Mandatory Cloud, already recalled on back. The rest of Coast now sitting on top of a ward, watching the front of their jungle. Nintendoed wards over as well, so a lot of early moves made for wards. And we'll see what ends up happening after this vision comes out.
So I was talking about the mentality here of Vulcan with the Sona pick instead of Janna is really... Janna is, what a lot of people will default to with Fiddles, like you're saying, but it means that they're looking to initiate and get the kills. They're thinking much more offensively. Flash crescendos are Bloodwater's forte. He loves doing that, so he wants to play the AoE game. He wants to get in there. He's like, sees Fiddlesticks charging up. He's going to flash in, try and stop him, and follow it up with the Mandatory Cloud, Karthus AoE.
All right, so you've called it the Zuna duo lane right here, trying to put pressure against that Fiddlesticks. And Shifter's going to try to hold on as Zed right here. So far, none of the jungle has been touched. We get into the very beginnings of this game. Let's see how it plays out. Right now, they're pushing down on a Shifter's turret. Nintendo got his blue successfully, now has Drain. He's going to make his way through the jungle. Smithy had started red on Cho'Gath. He's going to make his way towards blue.
So that's exactly what Team Coast wanted. They defended the level 1 invade successfully, and Fiddles got to start his blue. He's past the very, very scary point of jungle Fiddlesticks. Blue is just essential for him. Now he can spam his Drain Life and continue to sustain throughout the jungle without worrying about getting low.
Okay, so looks like Nintendo is pretty safe in this one. We just saw Mancloud taking a bit of poke on his side, though. Opened up Cloth 5 knowing he'd be 1v2ing, and has now put Smithy down to defend this lane.
Yeah, he's got seen out by a ward, but it doesn't really matter since he's just coming to clear anyway. So it's just going to be that standard meta of the jungler camping lane, just trying to save their turret. They won't want any early damage on it. And it actually is a good combo for CSing. Cho'Gath and Karthus, both a lot of AoE. They can wave clear very, very easily.
And you're going to see those minions not even reach the turret right here. Only 4 last hits on Fiddlesticks, or sorry, only 4 on Karthus, but Smith is getting some, put some damage down. Burn Smite, and looks like they're just going to try to work down Daydream, and to keep their turret healthy. So far, it's working for him, though.
Yeah, ManCloud's lay waste pretty weak right now, so he's having a bit of trouble. But Smithy's getting pretty nice and fed up there. Only a force here, 6 CS on Karthus means that it's going to delay those stacking items that they always love to go. The Tier and the Rod of Ages. Nintendo gets a nice little bit of burst here.
Yeah, he's wearing Zuna down. Problem is he's got a Sona teammate. I don't really feel like Zuna cares about taking damage at this point until Shifter hits 6. Zion Spartan actually roaming down early, shoved at the top lane, looking for a flank on mid.
Yeah, he's going to bypass this ward in the river, try and come behind. The flashes are available, and Nintendo could flash in and fear, but it's too late. They get the flash from Caitlyn, so it was a successful gank there.
Really, really good flash by Zuna. Managed to dodge the stun or the knockup that would have come out from Zion Spartan. And now we look back at the bottom lane, that sort of 2v2, because you've got ManCloud and Smithy fighting Daydream and Mash Me. And we're going to see how well they can wave clear and keep this turret alive. Pretty well so far.
There we go. Some good harass there with the Rupture, too. Gonna allow them to relieve some of the pressure as both recall, and nobody in this game has teleport. We haven't seen teleports taken a lot lately because there's been such a move away from the teleport spell in favor of the extra laning presence that your Ignite or your Barrier or your Exhaust will give you.
Yeah, especially when you got a guy like Zed who just wants to all-in you and make sure you die in that one combo. You know, it's interesting just the trade that comes in here because, yeah, they just want to accentuate their individual roles right here. But speaking of accentuating their individual roles, the tower pushing here from that Coast 2 versus 1 really coming in strong. Nintendo even showing up to make that happen as well. Like Smithy, he's clearing a little bit, but that turret's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, that, jungle Fiddlesticks is getting past the early part of the jungle game very easily.
Pulled in, feared, ignited, and the damage output is there. Mandatory Cloud forced back, and he's going to be a little painful on that one. Survives with a couple hundred health, but that hurt.
So, Nintendo makes 2 appearances, gets 2 flashes. We could contribute the other flash design, I guess, if you really want. But
yeah.
The jungle Fiddlesticks, before he's even level 6, he doesn't even have that Crow Storm right now. He's already making really big plays. They're going to get the first turret, and if they wanted to, they could then switch over and protect the all-important mid turret that's really low right now.
Yeah, that is going to be pretty good for them. So Nintendo specifically is out-leveling, out-golding, and outperforming, I would say, that Cho'Gath jungle. So you mentioned the early jungle being the rough part. Well, Coast have managed to coast right past that, and now comes the mid lane counter push from Vulcan. It's going to be their own 3v1. They've got that one easily.
Yeah, not quite quick enough there from Coast. They did get a pink ward down, so they have control over vision around Dragon, but they aren't going to take that chance like TSM did with going with the very early Dragon and paying for that with a lot of map control and health bars. This Ezreal is pretty slippery.
Yeah.
Probably be able to get out even if there was the Cho'Gath that was able to get past the pink ward and gank him.
So far, he's been landing very, very well. On top of that, he has 53 minions, tied for highest in the game now with Zuna. These AD carries trading their farms pretty well. But we haven't looked at this top lane very much. Zion Spartan and Psycho Sid both have hit level 6 now, but it's about to be interfered with. Nintendo shows up.
Nintendo shows up. No ward. Here comes the fear.
And the silence comes by as well. The stun lock coming as well. Oh, man, Psycho Sid really dropped low. He's saving the cocoon to dodge Wind Slash. But the team is now on top of him. This is not good. Oh, he goes the other way. Can Psycho Sid get out? He's trying. No, there comes the jump from Zion Spartan. Burns the flash. First blood picked up to Curse.
And he was already... Curse with the play from outside the game. Yeah, Zion was already winning that game, that lane. So now it's really going to snowball hard. And they're actually even just going to put a lot of pressure on this top turret and try and up the map control game here as they've already switched over AD and support to middle. They really want to solidify their hold on all these outer turrets. Even this Fiddlesticks auto attack is pretty pitiful. He's doing work on that top turret.
He's trying. It's getting there overall. He's getting there. All right. The turret's going to start losing more health. That is going to be theirs.
And that means the level 6 for Fiddlesticks, so he's going to be ridiculously scary now.
Yeah.
The vision for Vulcan is going to have to be kept up, because if you have him Crow Storm over some wall, it will be extremely hard to get out. I keep calling it Fear, but his Q spell, the Terrify, which actually fears instead of Terrify, which is fairly confusing for some members of the League community. Terrify is something in our game where your character will run away from whoever terrified you, like Hecarim. When you use Hecarim ult, you automatically run away from him. Fear is the mechanic where you sort of run around in circles, and that's why everyone hates Fiddlesticks, because it's ridiculously annoying to not have control.
I may or may not have run into your turret.
Yeah, whoops.
Oops, all right, well, that's one of the harsher CCs there. Mandatory Cloud, though, level 6, trying to hold on to this mid lane, but his turret is taking so much damage. It seems like Smithy Man-Cloud combo is just not holding turrets well enough. The health bar just keeps dropping whenever they're defending something.
It looks like this middle turret is really going to be under a lot of duress. We've got a recall from Mandatory Cloud, and we still have the AD and support there, so they could make this push while everyone's holding the side lanes as well. It's not like Coast has collapsed on this mid or anything. They're still creating the threat on every single lane.
Right now they're threatening that mid lane still. Zion Spartan pushing that top, and you can just see every one of these turrets is just under so much pressure. As you mentioned, they're making so many good moves, and they've got a decent gold lead for all their troubles. Bloodwater and Smithy have held on to that mid lane for now. Zion Spartan is warding for himself. He just keeps wanting to push. That ward is there to keep watching for ganks.
She's very scary, we'll say. We have a Riven. When Riven gets fed, extremely scary. Very early snowball champion. And since, like I said, he was already winning the lane, and then he got the gank for the first blood, plus tower money means he's a beast right now.
But here comes the damage onto Daydream, and this could be bad for him. Oh, the box landing so much slow. Mandatory Cloud, can he do enough damage? Smithy gets slowed down again, gets ignited. Mashme saving his support, but Daydream is now in a rough spot. Can Man-Cloud put out enough damage? No, he has to be afraid of Mashme as well. Could this be enough damage? He's not going to go for the Requiem just yet, because here comes the Zion Spartan. He goes for it. Can he get the... Oh my gosh, not enough damage. They don't get anything there, but here comes the counter engage. Zion goes down. Shifter, though, is going to get the kill back, and here we go. More pressure going in. This fight is so hectic. The Zed does fall down. Psycho Sid now chasing Nintendo. Crowstorm didn't end up doing the whole heck of a lot. Still getting chased down by Elise. Psycho, can he do much more? Gets terrified. He's going to be about flash the way. This balancing silence doesn't quite get hit by True Shot Barrage, but the minions are almost enough, but not quite. Vulcan get away from that one with an interesting fight.
Shifter and Nintendo were fighting on top of Mandatory Cloud's corpse there. That was really what turned that back around for them, taking a lot of damage there. But we have to give props to Daydream and really running circles around them there. He's dodging the lay waste when it count. He was able to get off the last second death sentence onto Smithy, who was just baited in for that kill, and that meant that we do have Don't Mash Me picking up a red buff off of Vulcan's jungle.
Oh, that is so good. I mean, as much as you might want... Actually, heck, it's Red Ezreal. He's got Red Buff, he's got a Bloodthirster. Mash Me is Red Ezreal.
Red Ezreal, much more terrifying than the blue Ezreal this early in the game.
But not less terrifying than Nintendo, who puts that one down. Daydream puts the lantern on a friend, but might have overextended. There comes the Cocoon. Daydream taking so much damage, falls over to Psycho Sid. Great pickup there, but they're not done. Nintendo does dodge the Rupture that might get him out. A lot of pain coming out from Shifter, though. And Vulcan cannot keep chasing.
A little too overconfident with his footwork there. Daydream, and this time overextends, pays for that with his life. Good cocoon here by Psycho Sid to make them answer, and this gold lead goes down a little bit for Coast here. Vulcan coming back in it.
Absolutely great. So 2,000 gold separates these teams right now. Mash Me putting up the dance moves in the mid lane. Gotta like that one a little bit. I'm a fan of that. But Vulcan finding another way to get themselves back in. They have looked for this dragon. Zuna got hurt.
Dangerous.
Uh-oh.
Crowstorm over the top. Oh, the dragon with the last shot.
That is harsh.
Don't Mash Me against
6v5 is not fair. That's how Ghost are winning at 6v5.
Here we go. Nintendo in the bush. Is he going to go for Bloodwire? A little bit of fear here. And Don't Mash Me comes in.
And here we go. The Crescendo has to come back across. Psycho Sid, can he help up in time? Has to put the Cocoon down. They're still trying to run away. Can they get the last bit of damage? There it is. Zion Spartan with the Wind Slash. Makes it 5-3. Coaster looking great.
Now they've got control. But we have Mandatory Cloud shoving this bottom lane. He's a little bit out of position, but they can't get there before this recall war finished, so they'll grab the dragon instead.
Yep.
Free global objective taken for Team Coast.
That was absolutely great. They've gotten the kill. They know everyone's back. They got the pink ward down. They know the coast is clear, and the dragon is theirs, putting the gold lead now almost 5,000 gold ahead. Coast, they're looking great right now.
They are looking extremely strong. They still have their top and bottom outer turrets up too, which is actually really huge for them, because the invade here from Vulcan, they don't know exactly where to go right now. They don't have a lot of extra vision on this map, and since the dragon's down, they're floundering a little bit. You can see them just milling around, wasting time in the mid game. It's just the most crucial thing you don't want to do in League of Legends is just wasting time walking around.
Yeah.
You just want to be doing damage to at least something.
Exactly, and so right now you're seeing how much these guys can capitalize on what they're doing. It's Psycho Sid help. Look, even like lands a melee Q to help to help Smithy bring that down a little bit faster and give his team a little bit more time to move around the map. Zuna, though, he's looking afraid, has no ward coverage, has to hide away from Shifter. He's afraid of that 1v1 burst potential.
Yeah, and normally we'd be seeing Zuna on one of those late game carries, like you said. But since he did go for the Caitlyn and the early pressure that they didn't really gain much off of, they didn't stop anything with the Fiddlesticks jungle. It means that Vulcan don't really have that late game 6-item Tristana to fall back on, so they're a little bit, out of their comfort zone, and this is not the norm for them.
Is it enough that they can rely on a late game 6-item ManCloud? Normally he's on someone like Ryze anyway who hyper carries. I am curious to see how this late game ends up panning out, because you've just got very different compositions, and I mean, how do you really call how well a Fiddlesticks comp runs? We don't see it enough.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks comps are very hit and miss, because it depends so much on the Crowstorm. Mandatory Cloud gonna get his exhaust baited out here by Zion because he used his ult. Could easily have been dive. Dove. You were talking about the 6 items though on the Mandatory Cloud. Turns out he didn't start the early tier like we see most of them do, so he hasn't had that stacking up, and his 6 items gonna be a lot less fearsome as we see some contest. Some fighting here around the blue buff.
As ult hits 2, they've got ward coverage as well. Zeismartin comes back in, takes another exhaust, eats a lantern, and says, that's fine, I'll be all right. The rupture misses, and Coast have taken control of this golem right here. I don't see anyone stealing it away at all. So Nintendude happily wearing another blue buff. And it's crazy, the Fiddlesticks is the one doing the counter jungling. I don't see that much.
Yeah, he's all over that jungle. He's got an Oracles on the jungle Fiddlesticks, and here comes the Crowstorm.
Oh my gosh, jumps right onto Zuna. Doesn't even need the death mark. That's just showing off at that point. Zuna evaporates before his own very eyes, and that turret, that might just go to Curse, but the minis are running out of health.
Caw. Indeed. There we go. He shows his... So, I was going to talk about that Oracles before this.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's a big money sink, and that's really harsh to Fiddles because Fiddle is very squishy, and you usually want to get some durability, but it's so important that you cast your Crowstorm from Fog of War and that there's no wards you're standing on, that I love this buy by Nintendo.
That is
very,
really cool.
very smart buy by him. He knows that he's not ulting into a trap here.
Yeah, and the cool thing is as well is look at his build. He's gone for Spirit of the Ancient Golem first of all. He's got the components for a Runic Bulwark now in his inventory. He's going tank Fiddlesticks and saying, yeah, I'm going to get rid of all the vision. He got 3 points in Drain, then started maxing Terrify. And he's just like, yeah, I will CC your team, and Crowstorm still hits hard.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks has so much CC. It's a pretty good route. Cooldown reduction extremely effective on him as well. You don't have to build pure damage and carry with the devastating Crowstorm. You can add just so much utility with that character if you play it right and you clear out the wards like he's doing. You just have to control the vision game.
That's going to be fun to watch if he can keep doing this. That Oracles has helped him so far. JG with the... Oh, I just realized. You can Crowstorm onto a lantern. How did I not think of that before? Like, how are you ever going to stop that Crowstorm? He's going to Crowstorm from like 2 screens away, then show up.
So far back. That would be beautiful. But I have to see if they can actually pull that chain off. I don't know if they've even thought of this one.
They have to have. That's too convenient. They first picked Thresh, and they went for it afterwards. So I just want to see it once. I don't even care if they lose the game at that point. I want to see a Lantern Crowstorm.
Worth it? You just we'll shout it for them. They don't even have to type it in all chat.
I got you covered, Coach.
Freak will cover you if you go for the move, guys. As a side note, we talked about 6-item Karthus. This right now, this is one of the least threatening Karthus that I've seen in a very long time. He's gone full defensive mode here. He finally just now picked up that blasting wand, so he'll be able to at least make a Rod of Ages. But up until this point, he has just been, a pinata for Team Coast.
That's so weird to see, too. Mandatory Cloud is a player that I usually characterize as going pretty aggressive in most situations, tends to hyperscale, tends to have a crazy impact on the game, but it's Roa Zonia's Karthus. He's not even completed either one. And it's weird, like, this is a Vulcan who did amazingly and was incredibly aggressive and took down Curse. Like, there's a great squad, and it seems like Coast has their number right now.
The early kill there for Zion, I have to say, I keep going back to this first blood for him in a winning lane on a snowball champion like Riven. Is just so devastating. You lose so much control. They lost all their top real estate up there, and it was even dangerous for Smithy to go into his jungle up there because you could have Zion coming down for ganks like we saw. He even ventured down middle because he was pushing so far.
So beautiful stuff then by this Coast lineup, right? Making the adaptation, saying, oh, we're winning this lane. We can kind of use this to keep control over half the map and make your lives even harder right here. So it's cool to see these guys make the moves as the game progresses. So move into the 19th minute. Mandatory Cloud is doing a little bit of jungling, trying to get his gold going up. He's at 114. He's doing pretty well as far as minion kills are concerned. And you look at the individual gold, and the right members, I think, are keeping up.
Yeah, and we have Don't Mash Me using his gold to go more blue route after, he started with the Bloodthirster and they had their power spike. Now that they have control of the game and they're so far ahead, he can spend his money on those mana items and go through that lull period before you actually build them into the Muramana and actually reap the damage benefits, because they're already in control of the game. They don't need his extra presence right now, so they could just ride that Bloodthirster damage all the way through the mid game.
And especially you consider the fact that Zuna still has not completed his Infinity Edge yet. He's about 100 gold away from getting enough for combining it, but Vulcan has to wait for that to come on through. So yeah, you're right. It's just such a convenient timing here for the Coast guys. And I'm curious to see when Vulcan decides to turn it on and when they decide to turn aggressive. They've only got one turret kill. Right now they're just playing the farm game, trying to get Karthus scaled up into the late game and trying to get Caitlyn to, a couple more items here, I guess.
And it looks like this Coast team is a bit more durable than I initially thought too. I was saying, they're going to rely on their CC and coordination because they have so much damage. But since you point out the tank Fiddlesticks is actually building extremely tanky right now. He's going to be tough to take down, and then Thresh as well is always one of the more chunky supports. So they actually have, albeit an unorthodox front line, a very strong front line.
It's ironic too, because even Vulcan's doing that. They've got Sunfire Cape on Psycho Sid. The Karthus as well as building tanky. Both these guys are like, we're going to wait out the Crowstorm damage, then turn back on you. We're going to survive the burst from Shifter and then turn back on you. Both these teams are doing some kind of unorthodox things, but I think they're going to work on really on both sides. Yeah,
it's going to be all about, can the combo here from Coast dive and take out Zuna, because most of Vulcan's damage is on Zuna. And Caitlyn, if you can stick here with one Terrify from Fiddlesticks, they're going to be able to just burst her down. She does not have Cleanse, and she's very far away from building a QSS if she decides to go that route. So one Terrify here from Nintendo could be most of the damage just gone from Vulcan.
Wow, that could be a rough thing for them. Let's see if these guys can make those fights happen. Infinity Edge has been completed for Zuna. Coast just happily sweeping away these traps, and Zuna says, hey, putting them back down. I like cupcakes from the field. Get off my lawn. Mandatory Cloud, though, still fighting up against Zion. Spartan Zion kind of walking into the damage, then says, well, I have a shield. I'll walk right back out. Man Cloud is just simply farming with that blue buff, trying to get himself to the late game.
Ooh, the lantern juke of a crescendo.
That was impressive there. Good job, Daydreamin' and everyone else involved. Nice try there by Bloodwater. Rupture comes across, but looks like the damage is there for Coast. They find another turret, but the fight might be starting. Ezreal comes across. Damage onto Smithy. Zion Spartan forced to run back for this. Still looking for it. The box comes across. Daydreamin' has to flash away from Rupture, and the re-engage comes in. Smithy's in front. Happy birthday! Nintendo is in the mix doing a whole bunch of damage. They find 2 for 1, 3 for 1 so far. The engage is still coming across. Zuna, Sid forced to run away. The damage is not enough from the Requiem, and that is a great team fight win for Coast.
Coast able to kite Vulcan while they were trying to pull back, wait for the cooldowns, and then Zion, surprise, turns around. That's why he's team captain, made the call to re-engage with his stun plus knock-up combo and just destroy Vulcan.
Wow, and just an amazing setup here. And Nintendo has gone for a Sightstone as well, so he is Ruby Sightstone, make that a different pick right there, is sharing those ward duties quite a lot. The vision game, Coast are really playing the vision game here.
This is a 2,300 HP Fiddlesticks coming at you right now. So you definitely don't want to burst them down. Like, he didn't even have to go Zanya's. You don't want to focus, this Fiddlesticks anymore because he hasn't built any AP. It's definitely scary when he comes at you with the birds, but really he's using it as a gap closer to get his Terrify off.
And that is going to be all kinds of fun for him. So, man, fun for him. A lot of pain for the opposing team. We've seen that so far. Nintendo's been part of 7 of his team's 9 kills with Tank Fiddle, and man, it's looking successful right here. Ruby Sightstone. I mean, we see Sights and Lee Sin, and we're like, all right, sure, you're not buying combat stats because you're trying to jump towards. I get it. Like, okay, Sights and Lee Sin. Ruby Sights on Fiddle, though, that is like very much a new one. Like, it's just, I don't know, like I keep seeing these things that are like so brand new in this split, and I'm like, actually, yeah.
And don't forget that he bought the first Oracles. He bought the early Oracles.
Yeah.
Nintendo's shouldering half of this Vision game, basically. He is support jungle Fiddlesticks.
No one fights the war on Vision alone. Nintendo and Daydream are definitely grouping up for this one. But it's Vulcan who are looking to finally turn something back around. Zion Spartus was split pushing on the right-hand side. He's nearly about to get that turret, and Vulcan say, all right, enough is enough. We got to group for some kind of a fight. They're pushing down mid.
This is very hard for them, though, because the Frozen Fist has been completed by Don't Mash Me, so he's got the slow fields, and he can kite. Even if Vulcan push down mid with all 5 people, they're going to have a very tough time, and they're going to lose both side lanes at the same time. Zion sneaking around from behind.
The double split push so incredibly strong. They don't have Zed, but Zion says, yeah, I'm just going to drop out some minions. The inhibitor is laid bare as well. That could very well be their next target. So Psycho tries to wave clear out. Shifter looks like he's going to get this turret for free.
Yeah, he is going to get that one. Vulcan's going to be scared to go up there. It's the entire team of Coast right now. Extremely wealthy, and they just have the better positioning. Now the exposed inhibitor mid is going to be the next target. That's very easy. Coast is ready to pick any sort of team fight. I just wanted to touch on real quick. It's interesting how the tank Fiddlesticks works, because Coast, they rely on Zion a lot to carry, and since they let him build carry and full damage, like he is full damage Ribbon going up here, they have to switch it over and move around their threats to just play around the people that they have on their team. They've done a really nice job of that.
And it's gone so very well for them. Looking for their first win this season of the LCS. Of course, we're only in day 1. Close match against TSM. Now in a so far reasonably convincing match against Vulcan, but they've not closed it out just yet. Smithy face checking some friends. Oh, the Terrify is so dangerous on him. Forced to run back. Down to half health. Crescendo goes back across. Look for Nintendo. Can they get the burst damage? The box comes across trying to defend, and here comes Zion Spartan. ManCloud is taking so much damage, he will fall over. Nintendo actually drain tanks him for a little while there, and the rest of Coast does back out, saying we'll wait for Defile, then we'll come back in.
If that was a conventional AP Fiddle, they could have bursted him down, but it's not. That is support tank Fiddle, and they are going to shove this one in, get a very easy inhibitor without the Karthus threat on the table.
And there we go. Inhibitor starting to lose health. Zion in front, using those shields to stay alive. Sid still in the front lines. They're looking for something here. These Vulcan players, they can't quite find that stun. Nintendo, though, still in the front lines, taking more damage. Drop lower and lower, now within feast range. But here comes Shifter, and he is just dropping down the opposition. Here comes the Crowstorm as well. Smithy forced to run back. They do trade the kill onto Shifter, though. They might have just enough to defend the inhibitor. Losing more health. Stun comes out of Mashme. Do they have the damage? Mashme shifts for the kill. Gets that one up, and here comes the Requiem. Is it going to be enough? One falls over, but Zion Spartan is not done. Picks up a double kill. They trade actually 3 for 2 and grab the inhibitor.
Zion's such a hero. He'll go back in as soon as his shield is up. His health bar keeps bouncing back from 33% almost up to full with the lifesteal, and the shields that he keeps comboing. Very well played, and Don't Mash Me staying in there trying to get the inhibitor. They actually even were able to get kills on top of that. Huge play for Coast right there, taking out that first inhibitor of the game.
Very, very beautiful yet hectic team fight, and those are the battles that are the funnest to watch, where things just happen back and forth, and you've got to rely on that shot caller to say, now we go in, hold on, let's go back. Okay, now 5v4, go back in, find those initiations, and the back and forth engagements are so fun to watch, and they're so hectic, and it really shows you who's the better team fighting team, who's practiced, who's rehearsed, and who trusts their team to make these moves.
Yeah, and that was a huge cooldown there for Vulcan too. They used the Requiem, but you saw how ineffectual it was. For damage, he's basically got a very, very late Rod of Ages, only halfway stacked at 27 minutes, and he's already upgraded his boots all the way to Home Guard because they've been pushed in so far. He hasn't been able to spend that money on any more power, just finally now getting that usually large rod. So at least he's got some oomph to the next Requiem that goes off, but it really has not been enough to dissuade Coast from even diving in on them.
And not in the slightest. So the push still coming in from these guys. The Lantern comes across saying, okay, we can run towards your red buff. Gonna stand on top of War, but not care too much. And the Zion Spartan split push, it's been going on pretty much all game. It's impressive to see a split pusher still be a part of 7 kills. He keeps coming back in time to show up for team fights and make his mark in the game.
Yeah, well, 4 dashes will do that for you in your champion, in your champion kick. He's a quick little bunny.
but the rest of the team is up to the top lane right here. 4 strong. Net Turtle is losing a lot of health. Mashme, though, getting pushed back by Zuna. The hook will not land. Zuna forced to run back, though, taking a lot of pain. Daydream is, though, in the middle of the mix, taking a bunch of pain as well. Zion Spartan wins the duel against Psycho Sid in the quote-unquote top lane. And now Mandatory Cloud forced to push down on minions. This turret's going to be theirs. Happy Birthday comes in from Nintendude, gets the Terrify. Will they have the damage? Zedo comes by. Yep, Smithy is a dead Void creature. Now Man Cloud's taking damage. There's no chasing him down as well. He's going to get out of this one, but the inhibitor going to go to Coast.
Watching that solo down bottom lane where Zion just took out Sid. When we have Zion pop his ultimate, he had 422 attack damage right there.
Ow.
Giant chunks coming out with every swipe.
And the burst onto Zuna. They land the Terrify, and he just disappears right away. Mandatory Cloud going to go down as well. And now the only thing left is a dead Fiddlesticks. Good job to the turret right there. But they're going to move on for the Nexus turrets right here. One's going to go down. There's only 2 members of Vulcan left alive versus the 4 of Coast. This could be it. Coast look for their first win of the season. That's going to be the Nexus falling down, taking out Vulcan. Congratulations, Team Coast.
Great play from them right there. They came back, convincing win. I really like the new plays too. Tank Jungle Fiddlesticks, fully supportive with all the wards and the very early oracles, bringing a new angle to the game and just pulling it off so well. I feel like the only reason it worked this well, though, was because of that first blood on Zion. Just gave him so much confidence and so much power to bully whatever area of the map he decided to go to.